Game shows are a staple of television competition, with anyone from your grandma to Kanye West and the Kardashians competing to see who's smarter or luckier. Well, in any case, there have been numerous times where you answer something so bad or rush to say something and completely say the wrong thing. So welcome back to Top 5 Central, everyone, where today we're looking at the 10 funniest game show fails of all time. Leave a like on the video if you would compete in a game show, and comment which one you would choose. Whichever game show has the most comments wins, but with that said, let's start with number 10. Steve Harvey has had to deal with a lot of dumb answers since he started hosting Family Feud, but he actually said this was the greatest one he had ever heard. Basically, the question asked for a word that came after pork, and without missing a beat, the contestant answered with cupine. It took everyone a second to get it, so I don't blame you if you're confused, but he was actually saying porcupine like the animal. It's a pretty hilarious answer, but the best thing is that the guy wasn't even trying to be funny. He just said the first thing he could think of.
What down?
Name something that follows the word pork.
You pine.
Huh?
Huh? You pine. Porcupine.
Yes! Lunatic!
Pork. He said cupine.
Number 9. So the funny thing about this clip is that the guy gets the answer totally wrong, but I can't even blame him for it because I thought the exact same thing. I mean, the question was a name for a gardening tool that also meant an immoral pleasure seeker, which is pretty specific if you ask me. It turns out that the correct answer was rake, but this guy came up with something slightly different. Can you guess what he said? Well, just in case you're too innocent to figure it out, he blurted out hoe straight away, and everyone from the audience to the host looked completely shocked.
This term for a long-handled gardening tool can also mean an immoral pleasure seeker. Ken?
What's a hoe?
No. Whoa! 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 They teach you that in school in Utah, huh? Al,
What's a rake?
a rake is right.
Number 8. Now I know that Family Feud involves thinking on the spot, and that can stress people out, but I still don't know how these guys came up with such stupid answers. I mean, the son had to name an animal with 3 letters, which sounds super easy, I know, but the best he could come up with was frog. If you think that's bad, just wait, because it got even worse when it was his dad's turn to play. He had to answer the same exact question about a 3-letter animal, and he said alligator, which is so far from correct that I literally don't know how he did it. Number 7. Okay, so this guy's answer is pretty dumb, but considering the question, I think it could have been a lot worse. Like, when I saw that the question was, name a famous Willy, I was expecting some kind of like super inappropriate joke, not someone making a really stupid mistake. Anyway, this guy actually answered the question with Willy the Pooh, which everyone knows is not what he's actually called. The poor contestant realized that pretty quickly too, because everyone from the host to his opponent couldn't help but giggle at his mistake. Dude, Winnie the Pooh. Winnie. Number 6. You know, I said that during the last clip I thought someone was gonna say something inappropriate? Well, this time it happened. I mean, the question was that they asked a bunch of men for a body part that was bigger than when they were 16, so you could probably guess where this is going. I mean, the first woman said chest, which I guess a few people went with, but the second woman just straight up yelled penis. Her answer almost killed Steve Harvey, and it didn't get her any points on the survey either, so I guess her dirty mind really wasn't helpful, even if it was hilarious. Number 5. Now, to be fair, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is actually a pretty hard game to win. With that said, failing at the first question is pretty embarrassing. Not only that, but in this game, the first question was super easy, but this girl still managed to answer wrong. So what was it? Well, the question asked which animal would squirt ink when it was attacked, and this lady thought the answer was an owl. I don't know about you, but I don't even need multiple choice answers to know that it's like a squid or an octopus. Even if seeing like an owl that could squirt ink flying around would be kinda cool, I gotta admit. Number 4. So most of the fails on this list have been all the contestants' fault, but they're not the only people to screw up live on TV. In fact, it's actually way more embarrassing when a member of staff makes a mistake, because their job is on the line, as well as their reputation. Anyway, in this episode of The Price is Right, all this model has to do is stand there and look pretty. However, she accidentally reveals the price of the car a little bit too early, forcing the host to just give the car to the player. Now, I know what you're thinking, but she actually wasn't fired. She just had to deal with a lot of teasing for the next couple of weeks.
Boo. No. Oh!
I won it! Oops.
Hey, congratulations.
Number 3. So here's how the game 10 Chances is supposed to work. The host reveals 3 jumbles of numbers behind 3 cards, and the contestant has 10 goes to put the prices in the right order. Only this time, the contestant didn't need 10 chances. In fact, he didn't even need 1. Basically, whoever set the game up didn't put the scrambled numbers behind the cards. They just straight up put the prices. That means the contestant didn't have to do a thing. He just kept winning, and Bob Barker got to go on one of the most hilarious rants in the history of the show.
I assume you know how to play 10 chances. In the price of that shredder, there are 2 numbers using... Daniel has just won a shredder. Now, the thing that we're all wondering about is, did they do the same thing with the next prize? In the price of the range, there are 3 numbers, and you've won a range. Now, in the price of the car, there are 5 numbers, and there they are. Now, the interesting thing about all of this is that there were 3 people who checked this game before we went on. One set up, a second checked it, and the third checked it, and 2 of them were in my dressing room before the show.
Number 2. Some Family Feud questions are hard, I'll give you that. But this one, well, this one shouldn't be one of them. I mean, the question was just boys' names starting with H, which pretty much everyone should be able to answer correctly. So what did this guy answer? Not Harry, not Henry, but Jose, which, just in case anybody didn't know, is actually spelled with a J at the beginning. That's already pretty funny, but it gets even better though, because no one in his family seemed to realize the huge mistake he just made. Like, they all just kept applauding and telling him well done, even while Steve Harvey was dying laughing in the front.
Anthony, give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Jose.
Jose and Herman. You're on a little slave run right here. Jose with an H.
Number 1. So the thing about this fail is that I think I know why it happened, but that actually doesn't make it any better. Here's my theory. When this host asked contestants to name a famous Arthur, this guy thought he said author. Easy mistake, right? But it meant that this dude answered Arthur Shakespeare, which I guess is supposed to be William Shakespeare's less successful baby brother. The problem is Shakespeare wasn't even an author, he was a playwright and a poet. That means that even if he heard the question correctly, he still would have got the answer wrong. Sorry, dude.
In this second game, we asked 100 people to name a famous author. Kenny.
Shakespeare.
Arthur Shakespeare.
And there's our video on the top 10 funniest game show fails of all time. If you enjoyed the video and you made it this far, make sure to slap the like button and subscribe so you see whenever we post a video. Also, don't forget to comment one game show that you would like to be in, whether it's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Jeopardy, Are You Smarter Than a 5th Grader, or what? Let us know down in the comments. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, hope you enjoyed, have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video.